Hey guys, what's up? Cobra Axes and Allies here, presenting to you my French painted army review. This will also encompass my Vichy French units, so hope you enjoy. Um, Here you can see just the normal G40 French infantry. This is the militia. All of my French units, I decided to go with this blue color, even though they didn't historically wear blue uniforms. They kind of got phased out in World War I, but I decided to include it just because, French, blue, like it just kind of goes together. It makes it easy to see, and designate, your French units on the board. Here you can see the airborne and then the mountain infantry. Some of these I just used American sculpts, as you can see for this. Here's my favorite infantry, the Foreign Legion. This is a World War I Austrian infantry, and I just think it looks a lot better than the HBG Foreign Legionnaire because, he's like in this kind of running, attacking stance, whereas the HBG one is just kind of standing there with his gun at his chest. But, yeah. This is my cavalry, just as always using Risk cavalry for my armies. Here's my artillery. I decided to go with this tan, brown, and green camouflage. I think it. As I was researching, I was going to go with one type of camouflage, but it ended up being too similar to the Japanese, so I ended up with this kind of strange color that they had, where you have this green on top, just kind of three layers basically. That was the motorized infantry you just saw, and here's the mechanized infantry, just the standard Russian half-track. This is the Loreline advanced mechanized infantry, which is a Japanese Hago self-propelled artillery that I chopped the turret off of. Here is the French self-propelled artillery, which is using a Russian tank destroyer. And this is the French tank destroyer, which is the American Sherman amphibious assault tank. I just thought it looked kind of like some of the French tanks of the time. These are some of my custom 3D printed Renault FT light tanks. They do look a little messy up close, but from a distance they look pretty nice. These are the Char B2 Bisses. Another 3D printed part. Really nice looking. I really like this piece. And here you can see the heavy tank version, which is just a scaled up model. I couldn't get a good looking one. This is the French Air Force fighter right now, and the jet fighter here. You won't see these a lot, but just in case France doesn't get wiped out turn one, you might see a jet fighter. Another just out-of-box Russian piece, just the tactical bomber. Next up is my custom-made medium bomber, which is a Junkers German bomber with a tail of a British bomber. This is my custom strategic bomber, which is the Russian bomber that I sanded down to look more like a French bomber from the day. Here's the heavy bomber. I'll probably never see this in my life on the board, but like I said, just in case they end up getting it, it'll be cool to see. Transport plane, just simple colors and everything, just the standard Allied plane. Here's the seaplane. Just the I decided to use a Japanese seaplane for all of them because they were on sale. So yeah. This is the transport. It's just the Axes and Allies, the first Axes and Allies transport, and I really like that part. It looks really nice. And this is the out-of-box Russian one that I used for the attack transport sculpt. Another nice looking part. Here's the subs, coastal, regular, and super sub. Pretty standard mold and everything. And here's the surf coat cruiser sub, 3D printed expansion part from HBG. And they start with one of these, and basically you can choose if it's a cruiser or not. Here's the destroyer. It's a Japanese destroyer that I thought looked like a French destroyer, so I decided to use it. The light cruiser, which is just the out-of-box Russian destroyer. They're a nice looking part. I really like the Russian destroyer and cruiser. This is the heavy cruiser, or battle cruiser, just a American North Carolina class battleship. Here's the out-of-box Russian cruiser. I might have to mold some more of these because you only get 2, and I think you need at least 4 for France. But here's my custom light carrier, the Bern class carrier, which is a sanded down Russian carrier. The sanded down Yamato, which I've made into this Richelieu class battleship. Really nice looking piece, I think. And here's my fast battleship, just using a King George class British battleship, painted up in the French colors. And a French fleet carrier, I think this is a Japanese 1941 carrier, but I decided to just use it. You'll probably never see it. And lastly, the torpedo boat destroyer. Yeah. Just a 1914 cruiser. So next up is my Vichy French forces, and I don't have all units painted up for Vichy, but if a territory turns Vichy, it means the units in it are Vichy too. So here's the Vichy infantry, and this blue uniform is accurate to what they were wearing in real life. Here's a armored car. A lot of these just have the same color scheme, but with a different roundel. But some of them are different units, like this armored car. Same with this motorized infantry, just using a Polish truck. Yeah. Here's another custom 3D printed part. It's a little light tank that France used. These were too small that I thought for regular play, but I decided to use one for the Vichy. Just to have another sculpt out there. It's pretty cool. Here's a one of the Char B1 Bisses. This one was broken, so I decided to use it for Vichy, battle damage tank and everything. Here's another 3D printed part. This is a universal carrier. It's a British vehicle, but a lot of other countries used them. But I'm using it as mechanized infantry. Here's a few of my fighters. They have a lighter green than the normal fighters, so you can kind of tell them apart easily. Along with this tactical bomber. Yeah, pretty, looks pretty good. For the Navy, I decided to use a darker gray when it came to painting the ships, so they look a little bit different. But if a ship that I didn't paint up turns Vichy, I'll just place it in a Vichy Navy, like the Free French version, and it'll just, won't be too hard to distinguish. This is just a broken Yamato that I decided to use just in case a battleship turns Vichy. But hope you liked my look at the French and Vichy French forces. Cobra, out.